welcome to this week's Microsoft Spotlight podcast. I am joined here by the usual Andrew Moran and John Jarvis, and we have the lovely Alev Tamer on today. So thank you very much for coming on and taking up some of your day to speak. We're really excited about having you on this week and learning a little bit more about you and your experiences. So would you like to give yourself a little bit of an introduction and tell the audience who Alev is?
I hope I can. So hello everyone, this is the unusual Alev. I am from Turkey and I work in Microsoft in industry solutions delivery organization as solution architecture. And I am financial services line aligned. So nice to meet you. And thank you so much for having me.
No, it's our pleasure. So how did you get into the role that you're currently in?
How past information are you looking from me?
All the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, your life story.
Oh my God.
What pulled you into the world of IT and, obviously coming from, I think you're our very first guest from Turkey. So, yeah, so it's learn about the whole journey from school right into the present day.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking and trying to relearn what's been taught to me lately. I'm like, this feels like growing pain. Am I in like a midlife crisis? But yeah, I born in Ankara. I was always trying to be the best student and the best of the best in life. I graduated from computer engineering. And how I got into that, it's a really long and sometimes painful journey. So I studied every day, all the time, because in Turkey, you need to pass like a 3-hour examination enabled to continue with the university. And your whole life are focused on that.
Wow.
So during the weekends, during the weekdays, I went to school. I got special tutoring, but I know that I had two options provided my parents. I either need to be a medical doctor or become an engineer able to survive in the economics in Turkey, because it's a Middle Eastern country. It's a growing country. And I don't know if you guys know much things about Middle Eastern culture. It's not that safe. We've been through too many economical crises throughout the year, and I didn't born into a moderate family. So we were living with my granddad, grandmom, my aunt, my uncle, but my parents always worked and tried to give the best to me. So I was like, I need to make them proud. I need to prove them that I can do anything. So one day after that examination, I was waiting for my score and I was reading Dan Brown's Digital Fortress. I was like, this sounds cool, because you've been taught to, let's say, if you go with engineering, like civil engineering is a man's job. Electronical, mechanical is too. And I was like, okay, if I want to have a family, my own family, I need to be able to work in the office, not in the fields. My mom always told me that I should become a teacher because they have like holidays. But I was like, no, I don't have any patience for that. I can't do it. So I choose computer engineering, and I really struggled with it because I am mostly an extrovert person and I couldn't code because it's like I need to be able to communicate with people. Yeah. So this is actually, that's when I decided I need to work in an environment which I can communicate better. This made me choose system administrator. This made me choose messaging and unified communication. So my main expertise areas is actually unified communication. And that's me. So I worked as an administrator for 6 years in different multicultural companies. And then I joined Microsoft December 2014 as Premier Field Engineering. This became Customer Engineer. So what we called is Customer Success Unit now, because all the names are changing. We have like a glossary for the acronyms, and you can see like different explanation for acronyms. And then I moved to Microsoft Consulting Services. It's now Industry Solutions Delivery. And that's how I became solution architect. So I'm currently working on employee experience, Viva products, teams. So I am all purple. I am all teams. And I really love it.
Obviously, one of the interesting things, obviously, you shared with us before this podcast is obviously your journey from Microsoft Turkey over to the UK that happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So what was the driver there for that? To obviously leave your native country to move to the UK during the height of obviously the pandemic.
It was a very hard decision. I think it was UK Ignite 2020, right before the pandemic hit, or it was hitting, but we couldn't realize. I was trying to relocate to either Europe or to the UK, but in Microsoft, for Europe especially, you need to be able to speak the local language really fluently. So my choices were UK or Ireland. Everyone told me like, oh my God, you should go to the US. I'm like, I can't. I am an only child. I should be able to go and see my family if something happens in a day at least.
Yeah.
Because from Seattle to Turkey or Ankara, it takes like 26 hours of journey. And one of the managers knew that I was trying to do it for years. And she called me. She's like, I want you to relocate. I want you in my team. What do you think? It took me 2 months to answer because living the whole life and family back in where I born and raised, it's hard. And people know me, knows that I cannot travel light. Like I have at least like 2 luggages to be prepared for everything. So I said yes. It was late February and then lockdown happened. So I was traveling 95% of my time because we needed to have cloud projects and Turkey is all on-prem still. So it was like I had to be at home 6 months in a row. And it was weird because I was spending like 3 days at home back in the days. And after the first lockdown, I just moved. And it was that year was actually the darkest year that I had because I didn't know anyone. My work friends were checking up on me and they became my friends. So when you hear that Microsoft is a family, it's really true. And one of my friends, why I moved, I was really struggling to keep up with the rhythm because women in tech is really hard thing to do. So you've actually asked like what kind of things that you've faced. I faced with too many discriminations and I had to forgive them and I just try to understand why it's happening. But I knew that I need a change because I was feeling like a misfit. But that was the best decision that I ever had. And after going through that dark period, I was like, oh my God, now I can actually see things can go good. Like I saw the bright and shine after that dark tunnel. And it felt like my brain cage was opening the door. And I was like, I am free. But it was really hard work to create your own community after all those years. But I am happy to move. So I lived in London for a year and then I moved to Midlands because this is where I found myself being settled.
There's nothing wrong with the Midlands, so I'm from the
I
Midlands.
love
All the
Midlands.
way, that's it.
I was about to say, I feel sorry for you. You come to the UK and you've actually, the place you settle for is the Midlands. God.
Oh, London started to remind me what I cannot have because everything was closed. I only met with some of my work colleagues once in a month, and I was like, no, this doesn't feel right. I need somewhere else. And one of my project managers that we work throughout the pandemic became my sister, like UK sister. Um, One day she called me. It was right before the Christmas lockdown. And she's like, Amy, she's amazing. She's like, dude, I know that's not your tradition, but there is no way that you're spending Christmas alone. I'm like, you're coming over here. Whatever happens, I'll not let you sit there by yourself during Christmas. And then that led to like me moving to Derbyshire now. It's all green. It's all good. I love nature. But yeah, I'm really grateful and thankful to her and her family. They made me feel like I am home. So
I suppose that's
That's
what you,
awesome.
yeah, that's all we ever really want is to feel like you're at home and stuff, right? So if unfortunately you've had to go to the Midlands for that, like, yes.
It's not bad, mate, in the Midlands. It's all good here.
I love Midlands. It's actually, I don't know if geographically you know about Turkey. It's actually like a bridge. It's actually uniting Asia and Europe. So
Yeah.
we call that area Eurasia. And I feel like Midlands is like that. Like I am always in the middle, always trying to be the bridge, always trying to be the communicator or cultural translator. Maybe this is why I love it.
From Middle Earth up in Midlands.
See, some of the best things that come from the Midlands, you know,
Yeah.
Cadbury's chocolate, the whole Lord of the Rings series, you know, Bird's
Oh.
custard is also from the Midlands as well.
Beckwell tart.
And Peaky
Peaky
Blinders,
Sti-
there you go. That's
Oh
another
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Sophie doesn't look impressed. She's Yorkshire
no,
through and through.
So I live in Yorkshire. Have you ever been to Yorkshire?
I haven't, but
You
I love the
should.
pudding.
Yeah, you really if you like countryside and nice long walks, and I always feel people are very grounded, and just I find anyway that being in Yorkshire, because I've lived in a city, being in Yorkshire, my head's a lot clearer, it's a lot calmer. Oh, I love it. I'm like you. I going down London and stuff for work is enough, and that's it. That's as far as I go.
Yeah, and I am Turkish. Like, if you ever feel like coming to Derbyshire, just let me know. Lots to eat and drink. I am a feeder. I love cooking and baking by nature, and it's kind of, I cannot say that it's my hobby because it's what I do naturally. And I always invite people because I'm also trying to create my own friends and everything. And that one thing I actually find really different because Middle Eastern culture, we are not very private.
Right.
We always welcome people. If you go to Turkey, if you feel like you lost or if you're like hungry, you can actually knock a door and they will welcome you as theirs.
Oh.
And in the UK, it's the total exact opposite. People are very private. And when I say, come here, like, you can just have dinner with me, they're like, are you the weirdest person that I have ever? But yeah, it's good.
Something
So-
that you did say that I just wanted to touch on a little bit was obviously you did computer engineering in Turkey. So what we find, or what we've been trying to get more research on, is at a younger age and throughout school and college and things, why women aren't choosing computer engineering and computer science and topics like that still. So what was it like for you growing up as a woman doing computer engineering in Turkey? Was it any different?
To be honest, I was always the first in my
Okay.
family to become like a university graduated people as a computer engineer. So I haven't had many examples in my life growing up, but I had experience. talking to some of my cousins or their friends, they think that a woman becoming an engineer is like, maybe when you see some pictures, like they don't wear makeups, like it's not pretty for them. But I'm like, you can have me as an example now, because you can actually do it. You can be a woman, be a mom, or be a partner, and also become a really good professional in the life.
Yeah.
So this is why my mom was telling me to just be a teacher, because she was thinking that I need to be able to provide the time and support if I have children's or a husband. And it was like, you graduate from university, find a job, get engaged, get married. So that's the life path that I've been taught. And I did that. So I graduated, I found a job, and I got married. And in that marriage, I felt trapped. It was not because we are not a good people, but we are not compatible with each other.
Yeah.
So one day, I had like the moment of awareness. I was holding a baby, and it was after work. We had guests staying over the night, and they had a baby. So I have that baby. I was just trying to cook the meal.
Yeah.
So the husbands were playing backgammon, and the guest's wife and her sister was being in another room just talking. And I was like, no, this is not right. I didn't get all these educations to do that. And I put the baby into his mom's arm, and I told my ex-husband that, oh, they can order food. I'm not cooking. I'm too tired. And then I got divorced. But yeah, since then I just dedicate myself to work. But yeah, so that's the path that I had to stop. Like, no, this is not me. I want to be more free. And the deal breaker about that marriage, he wanted me to resign. And I was like, nope, I love working.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
And
So
then,
what would you say some of your career highlights and proud moments are that you've done them throughout your career?
So I am a people person. Even if I'm only child, people always told me I am one of the less selfish, or like, I'm not selfish. I do care about people around me, and I am trying to create and give the best experience for them too, even if it's work people or private life people. So in my whole life, if I became selfish, mindfully selfish, I thrived. Like the moment that I decided to get a divorce, the moment that I decided to leave myself, because in Turkey you need to go back to your father's house. So those are the very hard times, but the highlights, the moment that I decided to join Microsoft, because I think I rejected Microsoft 2 times, but then like, no, it's the time now. Or when I decided to move out of my home country. So those are my career moments. But the best thing is, I like going through those dark times, I had the best support and best tools, and the people were amazing. They were helping. So this is how I built my self-confidence and try to get rid of my insecurity. Every day I am still feeling an imposter, like living that imposter syndrome. And then I had to bring and ground back, like, no, you deserve this.
Yeah, you do, definitely.
So I had really good allies, and being an ally is really important. So when I work with female leaders, I did my best. It's not that I didn't do good with men leaders. Like my skip level manager is David Burns, who believed in me in the last 2 years and who supported me to become my best and gave that safe area an opportunity for me to grow. So the people you choose it purposefully. This is what I believe.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. And you should definitely be proud of your achievements, you know, whether it's your personal life or your work life, 100%.
Yeah.
So
we all need to.
Yeah, exactly. Would you say that you've got more involved in the tech community since moving to Microsoft and moving to the UK?
Definitely. Microsoft community and the tech community is amazing. Like if you ask a question, they will do their best to answer it. And that community is very colorful and I love being colorful. I was not very involved with women in tech before I moved to the UK. I had mentees, I was coaching people, or I had the same experience with me. But Microsoft UK has different dynamics. Even if it was the pandemic, they never stopped providing support. Actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was in Reading office, Thames Valley Park, and there was like a women in tech event. And it was really great to meet with people after
actually.
2 years.
Yeah. I saw that on LinkedIn. Yeah.
And they actually gave us this self-development journal.
Wow.
This has been created by an 8-year-old girl named Ilora Lee. And I was like, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I also am in the Embrace ERG group, and I am trying to mostly support women in ethnical background. So I do volunteer some of the events. Like I don't do podcasts, but I do volunteer to organize, moderate, or being a speaker or being the people who is in the background by producing. So one of the events that I was being a product in the production side was Black Girls Lead Conference. It was last year. It was 4 days of events where people help and support, empower the Black girls in between 13 to 17.
Right. Wow.
And it was like an amazing experience.
I bet.
The stories that you're hearing, both amazing and heartbreaking. But I get to meet with like cool people like DJ Beverly Bond, who is the founder of Black Girls Rock. And I also try to support women in tech by hosting IEEE Women in Tech conference. Yeah. It's it's all great. Like you never heard of a story that's a girl trying to graduate from university when she's 13 years old, or create their own startups when they're 9 years old. I was like, okay, they are the overachiever. I am not.
Yeah, that is inspiring, to be fair. If you've got any women in tech events or conferences or whatever that you have got, I'd love to, you know, have that information, and please do share them with me. There's a couple of really good women in tech events near Yorkshire and maybe a little bit closer to yourself, so I'll share them with you as well.
Yes, that would be great, because I am trying to find like a local community so I can just be there, help and support. And I just realized maybe there's not. So maybe there's a chance for me to like, let's create a community.
There's an opportunity and a market space for you to make something in Derbyshire. There you go.
Yeah. So let's see. By the way, one thing that I realized that I haven't had in my life is that was a hobby. So I never like, people finds me interesting right now because like you're born and raised in the UK and everything amazes me. I'm like, oh my God, look at the trees. Oh my God, look at this. So I I love taking picture of people, like smiley pictures, because whenever they feel low, I just send that picture. Like, remember that time we were smiling.
Oh, we need more positive people like you in the UK, I think, to be honest. You need to definitely spread your positivity more.
So one day I was actually going through, I am in the group like Derbyshire hiking or walking. So because I want to be included.
Mhm.
And I realized, oh, I never hiked. Maybe I can do hiking. And then I came across with a group of people, a person actually, Damon Cole. So he arranged monthly hiking, and he was trying to give some kind of camera workshop for professional landscaping or profile pictures. And then I am very curious about the other people's life. And I started reading. I was like, okay, this guy is different. So 2 years ago, he became homeless. And then I think it was September 2020, he decided to commit suicide. And then he decided not to, like, let's give 6 months. If the life still sucks, I'll do it. If not.
Right.
And then he started hiking and doing things. And that year, he actually hosted the first Christmas hike.
Right.
So I got to meet him a couple of weeks ago when I had my camera workshop, and I was really amazed by his cause. Now his Christmas hiking went viral. And I was like, how can I support you? Your cause is amazing. Because if it wasn't Amy, I was that person 2 years ago. So now
Yeah.
I know how it feels to be lonely in life, and like that's an amazing cause. So if you're interested, you can actually find him. I can share the link or anything with you.
Microsoft
And,
Spotlight.
and that's just
Christmas
it, isn't
hike.
it? That's just it. Like, mental health is just obviously such a big thing, and it affects people in so many different ways. Obviously, we did our episode, it'll be 2-3 ago now, from this one. And it was, I know for me, it was a great conversation. And it's nice to hear people's stories about what they've experienced. And I know, obviously, John said, he hasn't really been touched by mental health to the level that me and the others were. But obviously, I know for him, it was quite eye-opening as well.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know how you've experienced it, but what I see is in the UK, people are having hard time sharing vulnerability. And like we are coming from very different backgrounds. Like when I think about what was my dad's worst fear, because we've been raised in an environment full of like wars. So our neighbors were fighting all the time. So I always had that survival instinct because I actually survived from bombing attacks. I was like real life events. When I think back, like I survived one with like 2 minutes, and I was like, those are the traumas that you had to deal with. And when I think about what was my father's worst fear, he was always thinking about if there will be a war,
Yeah.
he needs to kill me and mom so we don't get abused. I was like, that's a very hard thing to live with. And when I moved here, the people's scariest moments were not even close to that. But we are person, we are trying to be our best, and life happens.
Yeah, that's something
was-
that I guess we don't have to worry too much about. I guess over in the UK.
Fingers crossed.
I
Yeah.
know. Fingers crossed. So obviously just going a little bit back to work and what you do for the people listening. You're a solutions architect now
Yes.
at Microsoft. Amazing. So describe your usual day and the plans for you moving forward then.
So, as the consultancy part of the organization, we do meet. We are customer-facing solution architects.
Mhm.
So I do listen their pain points. I do try to understand what is their needs, enable to provide a custom bespoke solutions. So I create use cases, business cases to help provide an employee experience, how to use our Microsoft products, how to get the best out of their Microsoft 365 investments. And I really enjoyed that role for the last more than a year now.
Mhm.
Before that, I was a technical consultant. So I became the first principal consultant in modern work as a woman.
Wow.
And then,
Congratulations.
thank you. Organization changed, so that title will never change. But my next career move will be in 2 weeks. I
Okay.
am joining to another organization. I can tell you this because this will release after 1st of November. I will be moving to sales technical unit as a technical specialist for Microsoft Teams. So this time I'll be speaking about all the out-of-the-box features for Microsoft Teams and Vivo products. I'm thrilled.
Yeah, well done.
Because lot to learn. Thank you. But yeah, I love talking about what is the art of the possible. And now I'm coming with a background of I know what is above and beyond, so I can bring that experience to my work, so my customers have the best experience and return of investments.
That's awesome. So a brand new role, yeah, and this will be released after then. So yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. We
So
plan
it's
for
like
that.
a horizontal change because I was like, something needs to change lately.
sometimes
I-
it's nice to change roles and stuff, isn't it? So yeah, it sounds like an interesting one for you as well, right?
Hope so. We are in the same community, so I'm sure that we'll be staying in touch. And Microsoft, I don't know if you have had experience working with or within Microsoft.
Kind of, yeah.
So it's like Hogwarts. By the way, I love
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, me too.
I have my Snape here. Even if I'm like,
I've got a chocolate frog box. I've got Harry Potter things behind here.
I thought it was Harry
I don't
Potter.
know it.
Yeah,
And was-
Harry Potter. I've got little Malfoy on the bed.
Yeah.
Oh my-
Look what I've got here. What's this? I know it's going off topic a little bit. Albus Dumbledore. I've got all sorts.
That's awesome.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll
I
become
saw
best friends.
the
soon.
throw on the bed. I thought I saw it. I thought it was Hogwarts, but you kind of went right in front of it. Yeah.
Yeah, Gryffindor, Slytherin. You know, all that stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So- I'm always Gryffindor.
Yeah.
I'm a bit Slytherin.
So this
you
is
know.
why Sophie
But-
can't
but-
be an influencer to the podcast because she's too geeky, and that's what it is. So that's
Yeah,
why she keeps
that's
saying she's
it.
not cool enough.
So I feel like I am like this will be my third organization with the Microsoft ecosystem, and I feel like, oh my god, I'm going to Gryffindor. It's not that I was in Slytherin.
But you've got green on.
Yeah.
No, if you're going to sales, you're going to Slytherin. Like sales is definitely
It's-
Slytherin. Like
It's like that thin line, right?
yeah, no, sales is Slytherin by far. And then I reckon like
What's Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff is what would Hufflepuff be?
That's not
So-
offend
I'll-
anyone here.
I'll say Ravenclaw is like your developers.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw is your developers. Hufflepuff would be
Sales? No.
nah, Slytherin sales.
Oh. I am
would
going to
think-
sales. Don't say that.
I think if you was to go like change adoption type thing, I think that's Hufflepuff. Like the adoption, like the
Yeah.
everything's gonna be great type thing is gonna be like the and I think like the technical people, I think that's Gryffindor. Like that's for me. That's what I think anyway. Like I'm willing to have this debate for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh God.
I think I might post that later on LinkedIn.
That might get some good engagement.
Are you
Okay.
feeling like Hermione, Sophie?
Hermione. I've always been Ginny Weasley.
Oh.
Yeah, okay,
Always.
fair enough. Yeah, see the resemblance.
Yeah,
That's-
resemblance. We can see
Hermione's-
that. Yeah.
Hermione's also. I wouldn't mind being Hermione.
Yeah,
I
Hermione's-
am feeling like her.
Yeah.
That geeky one.
I think
So
I
obviously,
think Hermione's my second best character. I think in terms of from in Harry Potter. Harry's obviously number one, like, but I think Hermione's definitely my second favorite.
Yeah, with my last project, I worked with really great people. And because it was like, I don't know if you have ever had that experience, but after some of the calls, I was like shaking because like it was overstressed and you need to be there, like you need to listen and try to understand. So sometimes I felt the need to make a joke. And the gifts always help us to just be more relaxed. And so I sometimes I was wearing Deathly Hallows or anything like Harry Potter related. I was like, I was bringing that up. Remember, this is like this is Hogwarts, this is Microsoft. We can do anything. That like positive leadership thing. Bless him, Alan Ross. So he's a partner and he's my last mentor and ally. No, he can find the best gift so you can laugh. But hey, you just need to bring some color and some
I think the
fun things.
I think this discussion is going well over Andrew's head. Like
Sorry.
Harry Potter. What's like?
Where did I?
well, I say I've been to the studios, but I wasn't big on the films.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the audiobooks? I love audiobooks.
You should go, Alev, too. I've booked it for next Saturday. Sorry to go a bit off topic, guys, but there's the Forbidden Forest experience in Manchester.
I did.
You've been? Don't tell me. I'm going next week.
Oh, is there? Is one in Manchester?
Yeah. Did you go? Was it really good? Incredible. Oh my God, I can't wait. Okay.
Yeah, so apologies to everyone listening to this podcast. This is not a podcast about Harry Potter or anything from the Tickler Studios. We are
I
trying
think.
to
Do you know
talk about
what, though,
women's here.
Andrew? I think that 99% of our guest audience would like Harry Potter, so
I agree.
therefore,
Oh, probably, yeah.
I think we're all right. Like, I think
Andrew's the
we're good.
1%.
Is it the one in Cheshire for Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Is it Cheshire?
Yeah.
Oh shit! There's loads of.
So if you're
locations.
listening and you've been or you end up going, then please let us know.
Is there more than one location, or is that the only location?
I don't know. I'm going to Cheshire. I'm going to the Cheshire one. Alev,
Yeah,
did
I
you
think
go
it's the only location and they only do in autumn.
Yeah.
Andrew, what's your favorite movie?
See, I'm a big Lord of the Rings
Peaky
person.
Blinders.
Hobbit.
Just
Nah,
like
Lord of the
Peaky
Rings, the
Just like
Hobbit.
Peaky
I can
Blinders,
watch
mate.
them all day long.
Just like Peaky
Look, John,
Blinders.
If you go to the
From
Black Country
Midlands,
Museum in the West
from
Midlands,
Birmingham.
it's banging. I was educating Sophie at the weekend about orange chips.
Oh,
Yeah.
What is that?
Exactly.
It's a Black Country delicacy, which is basically battered chips. So they've got like an orange kind of colour to them, and they are wicked.
They look incredible.
Orange chips. If you're ever in like West Brom, Dudley, Wolverhampton, that kind of area, try and find yourself some orange chips.
So if I go up to a chippy and I say, "Can I have some orange chips?" That's what I'll get.
Yeah,
Is that what I'd say? Orange chips.
orange chips.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
oh my God, looks yummy.
Yeah.
Orange
There you go.
chips.
By the way, why are you guys not doing this in person? Or
Too far away. Too far away. So obviously I'm Midlands, John's Kent, Sophie's up in the Shire.
Are you in Kent? Oh, that was one of the best projects. I work with Kent County Council's voice
Oh, really?
migration.
Oh wow.
And I was like, we had really fun and the people were lovely. I was like, oh my God, they want to help and support the community.
Yeah, I
That's
mean
what I want.
everyone in Kent is just amazing, like amazing people. Like we just
I think one of my coach, Paul Kenny, was living there. Oh my God, that he helped me a lot dealing like that lockdown, the biggest one. So he actually listened to me and he made me build my self-confidence because I never realized that I was not smiling.
Oh.
I always smiled like this or like this. So it was, and I never accept the compliments because in our tradition, it's like you don't accept compliments, but you should. Like I relearned everything. Yeah,
I think we can be talking about Harry Potter and stuff. We are getting towards the end now, so like.
Yeah, I think just and I'm nicking John's question here, but what advice would you give to women either wanting to get into a career in tech or wanting to get more involved in the women in tech community?
Just do it. Don't wait for anything. Don't overthink. Just go there. Be yourself. Be your authentic self. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself, and just do it. I don't know if that's the answer, but like we can do anything. We just need to trust ourselves, believe in ourselves. And if we have that, and if we have really great allies, we'll just shine. So this is why I work with other architects and I work with many people. But when it comes to overcoming really challenging situations, you need partners. I don't know if you heard like work wife, work husband, or partner in crime. I have always had partner in shine, and this is what I wanted within my life. If I want to shine, I want them to shine as well with me.
Yeah, love that. Guys, anything to add?
No, you've firmly got me down the rabbit hole of this Forbidden Forest thing now. I've sent it to Emma and everything. So,
but I am really grateful because I'm using English as my second language. I tend to be shy, so I just realized I am really extrovert around the people that I know, but I'm really introvert trying to meet with new people. You made it very good experience for me.
Your English is unbelievable, so don't worry about it. Like
some of the words that I can still have problems saying. So Amy's trying to teach me, like sauce. How did you pronounce it?
No, it is really incredible. And anyone new
Is
that
it?
you come to speak to, do not be an introvert if you are naturally an extrovert. Definitely.
Don't worry, and I think like Sophie can't speak properly because she's from Yorkshire, so like it's fine. Like you're doing a really good job. Don't worry.
I'm so glad you felt at ease from a Yorkshire accent, Alev, and unfortunately, the guy from Kent, if he's put you off at all, then I apologise.
Sorry, I speak so well.
Oh, you're all good.
Oh dear.
That was a really I think you made my week, guys. Thank you.
Good.
It's been a great episode, and yeah, thanks for coming on. Again, somebody from another country, like another story. And I say every single time, every story is a great story. So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, it's just I didn't realize many people around me are eager to learn about my life, and when you realize that moment that you actually have followers, I was like, so I usually paint my nails colorfully. And I now have some colleagues and friends sending me pictures. Oh, look what I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, you definitely make an impact. Definitely make an impact, which is good.
It hits you like, oh my God, you need to be careful now. You need to be serious about what you're sharing if you're caring about people, because you need to, I want to be understood all the time in the correct way. So I am switching some words or my thinking to be more positive, because that's like some of the words brain gets it and you don't even understand if you're getting hit by negativity or positivity. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, from now on I'll share positive things.
Well, it's definitely paid off, so thank you. And thank you to everyone who's listened on this podcast. Like, share, subscribe and all that.
Yes, like, share and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yes, please subscribe.
All right, nice one, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Nice to see you all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. Please make sure you hit that like, share and subscribe button to help us promote our message. You can also follow us on Twitter at MSFT Spotlight, and we're also on LinkedIn, the Microsoft Spotlight podcast. And finally, we'd like to tell you a little bit about BitTitan and thank them for sponsoring this podcast.
Remote migrations start here. Let Migration Wiz do the work for you. It's fast, secure, and 100% SaaS, which means you can migrate at any time and from anywhere. Migrate mailboxes, documents, public folders, personal archives, or even Microsoft Teams with just a few clicks. No special training needed and no customer downtime. When the work matters, choose Migration Wiz.